Risk management has become among the most discussed themes in the last decade. This situation happens due to an increased risk the company are facing every day that may influence the good sequences at their daily activities. And based on the reference from ScienceDirect.com, we would find over than 500,000 results about risk identification and over than 1 million results found related to risk assessment. And this important mass of publication proves to us the importance of risk management. And therefore, risk management is proved as a good management to reduce the negative effects on risk. And today, I, Avriana, would like to thank you for the opportunity, and I'll show you how the failure mode and effect analysis will be applied as an effective method to reduce the risk in a company called Tunisian Company of Electricity and Gas, or just to be in short, STEG. So without any further ado, let's get started. And first thing first, we have to give these three elements some thoughts, which are risk management, and FMEA. So the first one is risk. Based on international standards of British Standard Occupational Health and Safety Assessment Series, risk is defined as a result of the probability and the severity of the dangerous events. Meanwhile, risk management, as an expert called Chung, considered as a process that leads to action or implementation to reduce the occurrence probability of negative event. And the last one, FMEA, that stands for failure mode and effect analysis, is a most widely used method in various industries to reduce risk and how to control them. And risk that often happens and may influence the good sequences of the worker who work in a company is something that would lead them to a work injury. And the question is, what is work injury? Work injury is a state where the worker got hurt because of the work they were doing. And as you could see on the screen, there are a lot of work injuries that could happen in a company, and there is this guy at the top left who got his eyes hurt by a material that jumped into his eyes because he doesn't wear a protective glasses. This is a very good illustration, since if you could see it clearly, there is a pair of glasses in front of the wall hanging there, and might be prepared by the company for the worker, but he doesn't even care to use the protective glasses. So in the end, he got his eyes hurt, and this may lead to a permanent blindness. And other than him, there is also this woman who got her arm stuck in a machine. As what I've been experienced personally in my internship at a company a couple months ago, this kind of injury would likely to happen because the worker is tired of working, or maybe she is sleepy so she can't concentrate. And the worst thing is, maybe she was chatting with another fellow worker, and in the end she doesn't really pay attention of the work she's doing and got her arm stuck in the machine, which is very dangerous. And the last one is this guy over there at the bottom middle who fell from the stairs without any protection helmet on his head, which is very dangerous too. And I believe we all agree that preventing is way more effective than any other thing. So the right thing one should do is preventing this kind of injuries by wearing a personal protective equipment such as gloves, safety shoes, mask, glasses, and helmet. Just like that guy over there with the orange helmet, which he always wear whenever he goes in the industry area. So whenever luck is not with him and he may fall from a certain height or got something, a stone or another heavy material fell on his head, the injury would be less severe. I don't say that they wouldn't got any injuries, but at least the injury will be less severe. But if one asks me, how do you overcome this problem if the accident is already happened and you can't do anything with prevention anymore? So the answer is simple. The company has to do risk management, where risk management itself is executed by these 4 steps, which is firstly, plan is risk identification, where it allows you to detect the risky events that may happen in the work field in the company. And the second one is do, where you do a risk assessment, where people calculate the probability of occurrence of the risk and how to reduce the risk. And the third one is check. What is check? Check is risk management, where you implement the corrective strategies and supervise the result of these strategies. And the last step is action. Do a risk monitoring, where you monitor and supervise the efficiency of the strategy, and in the end you would detect any other possible risk that could happen in the future. And the risk management execution itself could be illustrated in this cycle. And as I have mentioned before, the goal of this case study is to identify and assess the potential risk in the base of electricity transmission of STEG, or Tunisian Company of Electricity and Gas, and propose a safety measures to reduce the occurrence probability of the risks that may happen in the work field. And now the question is how to manage the risk in STG. And in order to achieve that goal, the company do a risk management by these following steps, which the first one is identify potential risks by doing a brainstorming with the safety manager, the leaders, and the executive. And in the process, they discover there are 16 risks divided into 5 areas. And what are those 5 areas of risk identification? They are vehicle park, waste storage area of gas, fuel oil, fat matter, and tools, and then transformer, and the last one is the departures of distribution line and electricity network. And after identifying the risk, what they do is assess each risk using the FMEA method, which the step you would do when you would do a FMEA method is build the FMEA table first and listing the risks by each area, and after that you list the possible causes and possible effects for each risk, and then giving the value for the severity, occurrence, and detection. And after that you could calculate the risk priority number by multiplying the S, O, and D values. After that, you finally could address how to control and overcome this problem, this work injury, this risk in the company, right? And so to get a clearer illumination, I'll show you the application of the FMEA. Let's get started to it, which the first thing is this. This is you draw a table of 9 columns with the description of entity, potential risk, potential causes, potential effects, S for severity, O for occurrence, D for detection, and RPN for risk priority number, and the last column is for detection or current control. And what is the entity? The entity is for the 5 areas that I told you before of the risk identification, which is the vehicle park, storage area, waste storage area, transformer, and distribution lines. And after that, you could list the potential risk of each area. Like the vehicle park have the potential risk of human error, technical problems, and the loading. And meanwhile, the storage area have the potential risk of gas explosion, fire, industrial accident, and robbery. And then the transformer have the potential risk of failure, explosion, electrocution. and so on until you reach the last entity, which is waste storage area or environment, and the potential risk of it is toxic waste, noise pollution, and magnetic field. And after you listing that those 16 risks of potential risk, you could list down the potential causes and potential effects at the third and fourth column. Like, for example, the potential causes of human error is stress, recklessness, and inexperience. And the potential effects of it is crash, damage, and victims. Meanwhile, what is the potential causes of fire in the storage area? Okay, the potential causes would be leak of gas, sparks, or maybe the absence of fire detector in the company. And the potential effects of the fire is damage, victims, failure of wiring, and a blackout, right? And after you do each one of the 16 risks and make it the potential causes and potential effects, you could valuing down the SOND for each risk. So as you could see, the human error have the severity 6, occurrence 8, and detection 7. And this value is not randomly picked, but it is picked by a brainstorming from the safety manager. Or if you want to get a more credible and accurate value, you could do a field observation and ask each employee, each worker at each area. So if you could go down to the vehicle park and then you ask the worker who really works there, and so you could valuing the SOND right. And then the same thing for the storage area. You ask the worker who work in the storage area, so you could get a more credible value and number for the severity, occurrence, and detection. And after you list down all of the SOND, let's calculate the risk priority number by multiplying the SOND. And after it is all done, maybe now you're wondering, what is the difference between those color that is so colorful, right? There is red, orange, yellow, and green. So let me tell you. And the red color is for unacceptable risk, where the RPN is higher than 150. Meanwhile, the yellow color is for undesirable risk, which the RPN is between 81 and 150, and for the yellow one is acceptable risk with the RPN between 30 and 80, and the last one, the green one, is for negligible risk with the RPN lower than 30. So, and now that you know what the difference between the red, yellow, orange, and green color, the last thing you have to do in the FMEA method is addressing the current control, how to control it, how to control the risk, how to overcome the risk that happen in a company. And the thing we could just take an example, maybe at the transformer area. For the failure, the current control to do a failure is doing a daily maintenance, safety control, computerize the inventory. Different with the voltage drop at the electricity network, how to control it. The company has to do a control system and maintenance like that. I'm talking about the risk control. What is the company has to do to control and overcome the problem of this risk? So basically, it's like what I've mentioned a lot before. The first thing, we have to put our safety first, because we all know that in the industry area that is very dangerous. You may never know whenever accident will come to you, like the heavy material above you and then you're not aware of it. So the thing is, you have to be aware of your work environment, be aware of yourself, be aware of your fellow workers, so you know how to control this risk. And the thing to put your safety is simple, by using PPE, personal protective equipment, such as headphones, helmet, glasses, mask to reduce a breath problem, gloves, and safety shoes. But actually, I don't really say that. If you already wearing all this PPE, all those protection suit, you won't get any injury, because it's impossible, right? But if you already wear those suits, wear those equipment, it will reduce the severity of the injury that you would get. And the thing, other than wearing PPE, the company itself has to do a training course, do a daily maintenance, do a quality control, do a monthly inventory to control everything, to put everything in control, so that there's no unwanted condition that would happen in a company. So everything has come to an end, and in the end of my presentation, I would like to say that the FMEA, or the failure mode of effect analysis, is powerful and a very efficient method to assess a risk by calculating the risk priority number, but still have to be finished by the risk management process. And after studying this paper, we totally know that this Tunisian company of electricity and gas still has a lot of unacceptable risks, which is still in the red zone. Let me mention it. The first one is human error with the RPN of 336, and then industrial accident with the RPN 392, and then the electrocution, the falling of electric cable, failure in insulator, noise pollution, and magnetic field, which is still very dangerous. So the company really has to put attention on this risk, and by doing the FMEA method, they would know, this risk has to be paid attention more, like the human error. So we have to training the human and giving shortened time of working. And then what about the industrial accident? The company has to give a more motivation by doing workshop, doing seminar, by inviting a motivator and doing a gathering and training course. And the last one is safety system. And I think the most important thing when you work in the industry area or any other else, you have to love yourself, and you have to know the work environment. You have to be aware, so you wouldn't get any injury. So you can help to manage this risk with the company. And once again, thank you for the opportunity, and good night.